Okay, let's start with this one. Gonna back it way up. Okay. There. That's the finished iteration of this little painting. The sky is dry, so I can put my thumb over it. I pushed these colors a little bit further that way into the hill. Intensified some here and broke them up a little bit with a few darker streaks just to give some notion of design within the hill itself. Cut into the tree a little bit, not much. Added a little bit of light to this, maybe a foreground hump of trees. The land comes this way, maybe a little bit. One slice of light across there. Intensified the blue here. That's just what ultramarine blue and white. Touch of yellow ochre in it in places. Made this just more purple. Didn't highlight it really too much. Just gave it a little more color. Toned down the light on this bottom rock. Left the gray the way it is. It didn't need much, but yes, it did take me much more than 90 seconds to do the work itself. Anyway, yeah, what if I were just to... Here's how I'll do a close-up this time. I'm not going to pan the camera, we'll just pan the painting. How's that? Okay. Talk about a homemade video or what, eh? Gotta keep it tilted forward at the top so you don't get too much glare. Okay, that's enough about that one. Now I'm quite happy with that. I'm gonna call it finished. Now there's this one. When I was done the other day, I was happy with it. And as usual, set it aside. And now, of the three that I showed you in the last video, this is the third one. I'm going to go into it with a bit of knife and a bit of brush to tidy it up. Tidy it up? No, it's not tidying it up. It's really giving it more strength as a painting, As I mentioned, band of light, band of dark, band of light. Oh yeah, and another band of dark. So I'm going to put a little bit of color down below here. Not a lot, just a bit, because under my studio lighting I can see more, but if somebody hangs it in a living room or somewhere in their house, it's not always got the perfect lighting for it. So I don't want this to remain quite so dark or quite so colorless. I think I mentioned that, yeah, it was good, toned down, still some variety of value in there, not too much color, but I think it needs a little more color, so we'll play with that anyway. A little bit, rather. That's not so important. What bothers me the most is that I have a framework here. I don't mean a framework as in a blueprint, I mean a framework as in I actually have a literal frame. The only connective tissue between bottom and top is, so far, these smaller trees, this main trunk. And I know I'm going to work on a little more connective tissue between top and bottom using, well, you'll see it when it's done, but using a few things to bring this color up into here. But what I have right now is a visual whole. And I think the most important thing, if I had to boil it down to one thing that bothered me the most, if I were allowed to only lay on 3 strokes of color, 1, 2, 3, on this painting, they would be right here. Because next to this very strong trunk, joining the very strong foreground to the very strong foliage on top, adjacent to it, I have a hole. Just a dark hole. So I think what I'll do is bring some of these colors up a little bit, indicating that they're behind, behind this trunk a little bit, but still catching some light from the left. And that'll help turn this from a curved pole into a grouping of colors. And that will help to fill this hole. And this is the hole that needs to be filled. That's the main thing. After that, as I say, I think it only needs a few touches here and there. Anyway, that's what I'm going to play with next. I'm not going to do it on camera, but I will show you once it's finished. And I'm looking forward to it being finished. I'm going to back the camera up here. Whoop. I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to it being finished because I think I mentioned in the last video that I needed to do some housekeeping because I had several paintings, or several panels rather, that weren't finished. And although I enjoy laying down the gist of something, and then when it's okay, just leaving it for a while, always in the back of my mind, there's that niggling feeling that, oh yeah, I have to finish this, I have to finish that. Somehow or another, subconsciously, I always have that in my head, and that distracts me from moving forward to the next composition. So I'm looking forward to getting this done. Then I can start again with a clean slate, completely clean slate, and I'll start. I might visit that little panel that I just drew, sort of a couple of lines on to illustrate, the sweeping hillside coming down and the bush turning your eye back into the sky. I might not, I don't know, but that's not a commitment because I have no actual oil paint on there. All I have on there is some stain, a bit of washed out stuff. Yeah, anyway, I'm going to finish this today, and the next time we meet, I'll give you a quick glimpse of this, but we'll get into the business of a fresh painting. I always love a fresh painting. See you soon.